Here we go, let's hear what they say. Here we go, we're on our way. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Escape to reality. Woo!
Well, welcome everybody. This is Escape to Reality. We're super excited because we have Colin O'Toole joining us from Below Deck today. How you doing, Colin?
Good. What's going on, ladies?
What's happening? So where are you in the world right now?
I am in my apartment in Long Island, New York. And,
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm just hanging out, just recovering from the holiday season.
Oh God, aren't we all? It's like, I feel like you need like a 3-week break after the holidays, but unfortunately you have to get back to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you spent Christmas at home with your family and everybody?
Yeah, most of my family, they live on the island, so and most of them in the same town, so we only have to go like a couple blocks away from each other. So it's kind of very nice.
That's easy.
You grow up there?
What's that?
You grew up in Long Island?
Yeah, born and raised South Shore, Long Island. I've been here my entire life. I love it. It's I live in a little town called Sayville. It's like I always compare it to Pleasantville. It's like it's a small town.
You could have started in Pleasantville too. That's funny that you say that. I don't hear an accent. I said you could have starred in Pleasantville. You look like that part.
Well, my name's not like Vinny, and like I wear like gold chains and have like chest hair and stuff. Like everyone else on Long Island does. But no, I've been here my entire life, and I don't know. It's,
there it is a little bit. Yeah,
it's,
I like it.
You guys can, from the show, you can understand. I'm very close to my family, and it's just a very homey town, and I love it.
It was very heartwarming.
You and your parents was like the sweetest scene ever. It was like so precious.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with a couple quick questions.
Sure.
First question: what's the most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
The most adventurous thing I've done in my life was probably the show, to be honest. I've never been to Europe before. I've been to the Caribbean a million times. I've been to Hawaii a couple times. I've never been to Europe, and just starting a new job, I've never done yachting before. So, it was basically like just two things all in once, and I was kind of, I was petrified. I had no idea what I was doing, and a new, crossing the pond, and just starting something new. That was, hands down, probably the scariest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that was the first time.
Yeah, I didn't know that was your first time in Europe. You came across like a champ, so you played it off.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, no, they made me look good. It was really because of the crew. I mean, I'm a ferry captain to Fire Island in New York, and doing what I do at the ferries compared to yachting, it's complete 180. So they made me look really good on the show, and I thank 100% of that to Conrad, Jamie, and Jowes. No question with that.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. What's the best advice you've been given?
Best advice that I've been given. That's a good one. I don't know. I give myself
right. Yeah, those fabulous parents really get it left and right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like they just say. My family and everything. They just tell me just to be myself. Which should,
that's good advice.
Should go along with anybody. But it's different with with the show. If people want more airtime, I don't know if they're faking or any. I don't know them because that was literally the first time I met them. You know what I mean? So. I don't know how any of the crew was previous to the show or anything, but that's why the show is so popular, is that everyone, they want authenticity. They don't want anyone being fake or anything like that. So, I think the cast that we had last season, everyone was being true to themselves, and I think that's why it was such a really good season.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, favorite way to de-stress?
Napping. No question.
Love
no matter what situation you're in, you can always sleep it off, and you'll always feel better when you wake up.
So
that's very true. You're giving me good advice right now.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're having a dinner party. What 3 live people do you invite?
3 dinner party. See, that's a good one, man. You guys are really like testing me here. I don't know. It'd probably have to be like, probably like, like John Lennon. I'm a music guy, so I would have to think. I'm thinking of like legends, like John Legend. John Lennon. Sorry.
We just saw John Legend. You should invite him. He's spectacular.
He was great. We saw him in concert.
I met John Lennon.
He is an EGOT.
I don't know. I would probably say, man, you guys are really killing me here.
Captain Sandy and Captain Lee.
Yeah, there we go.
No, because I've met that. Well, obviously Sandy. I've met Mr. Captain Lee before. He's actually a really nice guy. It would just have to be like some like icons that like I've never.
Yeah.
Like
that you want to talk to.
I loved Avicii. He was my favorite DJ.
That's a good one.
Just to like pick their brains. I always just love asking people questions.
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, definitely. Like
Jim Morris.
That'd be a good dinner party right there.
That'd be a great dinner party.
Okay, last question. What's a dream country that you want to visit that's on your list?
Dream country, Ireland.
Nice.
I'm assuming from O'Toole you're Irish.
Yeah. My two favorite countries. Well, the two countries I always wanted to visit was Italy and Ireland. And when I was given the opportunity to do Below Deck, and they told me I'm going to Italy, I was ecstatic. It was, it was definitely on my list, and so I checked that off a little bit, and Ireland I would love to go there.
Me too.
Cool. Okay, you made it through. Now we're gonna give you easier questions. Yeah.
So you said that you are a captain going to Fire Island. Is that what you said? Or
Fire Island. It's a string of beaches about 4 miles south of Long Island. Yeah.
That was fun.
It's a big summer spot. Andy Cohen has a house there.
Right.
You can't drive.
Yeah, they have a huge like gay like party there, right?
Yeah, Fire Island is known for. So it's got about, I want to say, I don't know, 12, maybe 15 communities. So two and a half of those beaches are gay dominant, and so so that's what Fire Island's known for, the gay beaches. But there's also like family beaches and the post college Guido beaches, the Meathead beach, so there's definitely every little something for everybody, and it's a blast no matter what beach you go to. It's always fun during the summer.
Weird question. Cool. Can you bring your car on the ferry? Is it one of those?
No,
it's
just passenger.
It's just
you can't drive. You can't drive. You can't bring your car on the beach or anything. It's just it's just boardwalks, and you can bring your bike or something, but that's about it.
So how did you get approached to being on Below Deck? Did you seek it out, or did they find you because you're so cute and they need cute deckhands? Or we were wondering, how do they find all these attractive deckhands in the world?
Well, I'm sure they get hundreds, if not more, applications every, season. They're always looking for people, and they're always looking for new people, because they love having, a story for everybody. I applied kind of as a joke. It was over the winter, and, no one actually expects anything to happen, when you apply to a show or anything,
right.
So I just, I'm wearing like a hair bandana, a hoodie. I look like crap. And so I just applied, and the next day they actually called me. So I don't know, they must have liked something in me. So I was very appreciative for that.
Wow. And what was the application? Like, did you have to submit like a video, or was it just like a online thing? What did you have to do?
It was like one of the easiest things, not like I applied to like shows or anything, but like, it was like 10 questions. It was like name, like it's a job. It was a job application essentially. It was name, resume, like what do you do for work? Just basic questions. And then, just upload like a 30-second video of yourself of like, why would you be good? And, I'm an idiot. So I'm just like sitting on my couch, and I'm like, well, I like boats. I drive them. And, and that's about it. And I don't know, so I guess it worked, and, they called me the next day.
Well, it was fun. I'm glad you got on. And so you mentioned Conrad and Jamie, and we loved Brooke. Who are you closest with still on the show?
I'm close to almost everyone still. I still try and talk to everybody. I'm closest to Jowes by far.
Wow, okay.
Jowes, he lives in Florida now, so he comes up to New York maybe once a month or so.
Oh, wow.
He knows people up here, so we always try and get together and have a couple drinks. And we always text each other maybe once a week. Just hope you're having a good week. Hope he's a captain now. In Florida, so just making sure he's doing all right down there, and and vice versa. So Jowes definitely the closest, but I talk to Casey, Adam. I'll shoot a message once in a while. Conrad, I saw a couple of weeks ago. So it was a really close bunch.
Yeah, we saw that Jowes was with Ross when he got picked up by the police.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that in detail. I wasn't there, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah. Are you friends with other people from other casts? I see pictures of you with all the other Below Deckers.
Yeah, I hung out with them. Casey and we hung out with them about a month ago in the city. They were,
Seems like a fun group to be part of.
Casey and I live about a half hour away from each other. So anytime anyone's in the city or just wants to, grab a drink, whatever, we're only just a train ride in. So yeah, they all, well, for most of the part, most of them were in there, and they're all so nice. I know it doesn't seem like that on the show, but they're all really nice people, and I met Josiah and Chandler, and they're all really nice people, and they're really fun to hang out with.
Cool. And who were you closest with at the time of filming, would you say?
What do you mean, like when we started?
On the boat, like who was your closest friend that you made kind of right away, or that you...
Right away, I would probably say Brooke. Brooke and Jowes, ironically. Jowes and, Conrad too, they took time out of their day to teach me something new. Obviously they made fun of me a little bit for being a ferry captain, and not knowing anything about boats, because they've never worked on a ferry before, and I've never worked on a yacht before. So they just assumed that I knew everything.
Right.
So I had a couple of jabs, but they were so, and Jamie, they took time out of their day to teach me something new. And, like I said earlier, they made me look good. And with Brooke, it was just she's such an easy audience for me. Like, I just love making jokes. And anyone that laughs at me, for saying hello, that's such a great audience and will always be a good friend of mine. So I think that's why I was really close to Brooke as well.
Okay. What like advice would you give to somebody who was getting on a reality show? Like, is there anything that you wish you'd known before you started filming?
See, I'm easy. Like I said earlier, like, just be yourself. I'm always a glass half full type of guy. I don't do drama, even in real life, I don't do drama. I just like to have fun and just be goofy, and, if that's being yourself, that's awesome. If being yourself is talking back to people, I mean, yeah, you're probably going to get some backlash, but at least you can look back on it and saying, that was me, no one wants to just be an asshole just to get airtime. Like, no, that's not fun for anybody, so, if you do come across, maybe negative on the show, at least you can keep your head up high and say, like, you were yourself, and, and that's what reality TV is supposed to be about, and that's why the show is doing so well.
Yeah, you were fun to watch.
Did you feel like, because I know you said you're really close to Jowes, do you feel like his portrayal on the show was like accurate, or do you feel like they kind of edited him to make him seem like kind of more of an asshole to Brooke, or was that really how it kind of went down?
It kind of, I feel bad. It did kind of go down that way. Editing can do only so much. Like, the words that come out of your mouth, that's not edited at all. Like, you said those things, but, I've been so close with Jowes that, during the season, I've been telling him to stop being an asshole. And he was just, just wouldn't pay attention to any of us. And then once the show actually aired,
he
told me, he was like, wow,
he wishes he would have listened to you.
Wow. Yeah. And he came across that way. But, because of that, I know, it may be a little too late, but, he learned from it, and he's such a better, he's got a good head on his shoulders now. He knows right from wrong. And he really learned from it. And, I appreciate him for sticking up and admitting that.
True.
Yeah, that's good. Would you do the show again? Like if they approached you to do another season, would you do it?
I would, definitely. I had a lot of, I'm probably the only one that probably had fun this season. Like I said, I just like goofing around and just make cracking jokes and just lighten the mood. So I had fun, and yes, I would absolutely do it again, no question. New people or bringing back people wouldn't matter. I would get along with anybody.
Yeah, cool. So we heard that there's like multiple. So talk a little bit about filming. That there's like multiple boats that go alongside the bigger yacht when filming. Is that true that there's like 3 boats, one that like where the film crew is and where you guys are, or is it all like how do you work around like the crew on such a tight space?
Well, it's different because certain boats are. I'm trying to explain it. So like, on the Talisman, we were, the only departure spot really that worked for the crew and the cast was the swim platform, which is just the back part of the boat, where we launch the toys and everything like that. So it gets a little frustrating, because obviously they, production they work their asses off, and there's I believe like a day crew and a night crew, so they're always switching people off, during lunch breaks or dinner or whatever. So there's about two or three boats, that come in and out. I mean, I don't know what their schedule's like, but they have jobs too, so they have to have their schedule set and work with us. So the first couple of weeks, you got kind of suck it up and try and figure out the routine. But after mid to later in the season, you get to figure it out, and it's not too bad.
How many weeks are you out on that?
Do you become?
Oh. Sorry, how many weeks?
Yeah. Filming is 6 weeks long. It's about a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. And we try and fit in, I believe, like 9 charters. I'm not sure if they do that for every season, but we had 9 total. So because they like the turnover, they love having new guests. Because half the show is basically the charter guest, if they're awful, if they're nice.
Right.
So I think that's also why the show is doing so well, is because everyone's different. Every charter guest is different. Hopefully, we always want nice people, obviously, but we had, some awful, like the ladies in the first charter about the nuts. We had the Don Julio people. We just had some really like terrible people, but again, that's part of the show, and that's reality, and that's why there's so many charters in that 6 weeks.
Yeah. So who was the worst guest that you've had, and what made them so rough? You mentioned a couple, but who takes the cake for the worst?
The cake were the Don Julio 1942 people. A lot of people say the first set of ladies, with the nuts, they didn't show half of what happened with the 1942 people. They were just, I don't know. It was just frustrating because they just never made up their minds. So like, they were like, all right, we don't want the slide anymore. So we'd put the slide away. Oh, we want the slide again, like 10 minutes later. So now we're at and the whole charter, that's all it was. And with Adam, like cooking food that they even request. And it was such a pain in the ass for everybody. But, me being a deck crew, definitely those people.
Yeah. And do you get to ever eat the food that Adam cooks for the guests? I know that like there was the whole drama like that he wasn't feeding you guys on time, but do you ever get to try his food?
Occasionally, like if he makes, a little bit extra, or with breakfast, he'll make like 2 full plates of, like eggs or but that's mostly breakfast. Dinner, he's focused on the, he's making the best food for the guests. He doesn't have time to make an extra 8, 9 dishes just for us.
Right.
So but the regular food that he made for us was amazing. And I know he got a lot of heat for not making us food every day, but we don't pay him.
Right.
I know it's part of his job, but the guests pay us. So I get his focus on the on the charter guests as much as he did, but he got in trouble for that a little bit.
Yeah.
So part of his job is cooking for you guys, but if he doesn't really have time, you just go make a sandwich or something for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I made sandwiches, for a couple charters, but at the same time, I think Jowes said it in the show, if we don't do our jobs, we get in trouble, we're potentially fired. That's Adam's job. Adam's job is to feed us. So, a lot of times, when you're anchored out, the deck crew, we have at least one person up during the night. So like Jamie and I, we would do late nights. We would switch on and off, and Jamie would go to bed at 7, and if Adam did make us dinner, it would probably be later, and so Jamie would never really get to eat.
Yeah.
A lot of times I would just have a handful of like gummy bears and then just go to bed.
Man.
It was yeah, so it was a little rough, but like I said, like we don't pay Adam, the guests do, so I understand his mindset.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think is harder, working like on the deck or in the interior after you survived a season?
I would have to say interior by far.
Yeah,
it's not even close. I know like deck crew, maybe because in my opinion, I thought we had a really well-run deck crew, so it was kind of easy for us. But I'm playing with jet skis all day. It's really not hard. There was a couple nights that I'm putting away the jet skis, and I'm like, wow, I'm in Italy right now, just riding around on a jet ski because I'm bored. And like the inside, you have Hannah and the girls are just, they're busting their asses, with drinks and food. And, I'm like, I have it made, it's really, it is, manually, it's probably, labor wise, it's hard. You have to put a little muscle into it, but compared to what the girls do inside, it's, I can't be complaining.
And all that laundry.
Yeah. And you're also outside. Yeah.
How do they do all that laundry? It seems like you really don't have enough time. There needs one person just for all that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's so much. I don't know how interior does it. I don't know, what kind of scheduling Hannah does. But I know the thirds do usually get stuck with the laundry. But compared to doing the laundry and then maybe switching somebody's break out, Hannah and Brooke, they, and Casey, they did all that. So, I don't know if I would have made it a whole season if I was.
I'd rather be a deckhand too. I could see how Jamie was.
Yeah, you get to be outside.
She's like, I
get to be outside. It's, like I said, jet skis, paddle boards. Like, it's really not a bad gig.
Exercise.
Maybe it's more.
You're like hauling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get to interact with the guests when they're like in a better mood, like they're not demanding drinks or like this drink sucks, they're just toys and you're basically just having fun with the guests. And I'm not saying it's simple. I mean, there's dangerous parts to it, as you've seen the current season with Ashton. It's dangerous on deck. And I'm happy that nothing serious happened from him, because it really shows people that watch the show like it's real, and it's a serious job, and hopefully that point got across. Unfortunately, Ashton had to get stuck in that situation, but it's real, and it's not easy.
And so since you didn't have a lot of experience being a deckhand, did you have a lot of training before you were put onto this boat, or does it surprise you that something like this would happen to Ashton?
I had absolutely zero training. We have to take a course called STCW. It's basically like a yachting safety course. It's about a week long. But you're not on a boat at all. It's basically like fire safety, rules of the road, deck, general stuff. Once you go on that boat, they don't teach you knots. They don't teach you anything like that. So, they said go, and I walked down the dock, and that's when it started. And, I've been in the maritime industry for a while now, and, some people could be, not so nice. You always get picked on, or, hey, you go figure it out. They won't give you the time of day. But, with Jamie, Joao, and Conrad, even the girls inside, I mean, they taught me something new every day. Even Adam, I've been making an omelet wrong for like the past 20 years. So literally everyone, I was very lucky that everyone was so nice and took time out of their day and made me look good.
Did he teach you how to make like a French omelet?
What's the trick?
You, like, roll it?
Well, the trick is like, he's like, if you go to, obviously I wouldn't, but if anyone ever applied to be a chef at a restaurant, the first thing they would ask you is to make an omelet.
Yep, make an omelet. Yep.
Right. And so, you basically you get 2 eggs, crack them open, And then like, just telling me like these different techniques on the pan, like the way you tilt it and like with the spatula, push it up. And, if you're adding stuff, you add that before the egg and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll try it when I get home. And so like I get home, from filming and I'm like, all right, Adam, I'm sending him like, Snapchats, and I'm like, all right, I got the eggs. I'm ready to go. And then he goes, how did it turn out? I'm like, I just ate a Pop-Tart. Because I just ruined everything.
I would love to look one of his omelets. He knows what he's doing. So when poor Ashton did go in and Riley was sitting there, she said, man overboard, but it was really the cameraman that essentially saved his life. Does that surprise you? Or are those guys kind of experienced? I had heard some of them might work on The Deadliest Catch. Do you know anything about that? And they might have experience?
We always do every season, every crew ever that's done the show. We always do a man overboard drill and a fire on board drill. But with any situation, you can always talk it out or go through the motions. But when it actually happens, for the most part, everything just goes out the window because you're in such a panic, you're in a hurry. That no one's really thinking, what's the next step? You're trying to save this guy's life that's in the water. So, I don't know what was going, Riley said man overboard, which is great.
Right. No, she did, yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a shock, like I would probably have said the same thing, like man
I don't
overboard?
know how I would react. I said to Geneva, I'd probably jump in after. I don't know what to do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Fortunately, Brent, he does all the camera work for the show. He just noticed that, Ashton wasn't necessarily drowning, I don't think, because unfortunately, with the tension of the tender and the boat, he was basically raised above the water. If you saw his ankles up above the water. But if that boat got any tighter, his ankle would have ripped off his body, and
that was crazy.
No question. And so, so Brent just had the mindset just untie one of the lines.
Thank God for Brent.
Just let the line loose in the water, and I think Kate said it on the show that they added an X amount of feet to the boat on the stern. So imagine if it was a shorter boat. And the line is in the water with the propellers going.
Oh my God!
Now that line, God forbid that line gets sucked into
I can't even.
The wheels.
He's going
dead.
in. Yeah,
no question.
Yeah.
But I think she said a couple episodes ago that they added actually a couple feet to the stern, which lengthened it, which means the engines were a little bit a forward, which luckily for Ashton,
Now I heard a rumor that it's you're supposed to drive the tender. It's a shortcut to tow it. Is that true, or is that just BS?
It depends. I think we towed ours last season, but at the same time, we've depending on how what our next destination is. Is it if it's 5 minutes away, we'll drive it. Because it's just
it's
easier.
Standard procedure to tow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you're going, miles, if you're going like a half hour, you're gonna tow it. Because you don't know, with fuel and everything like that. Plus, Captain Sandy, she always wants to make everything simpler for us. So if it's easier just to hop on the boat, drive it like 5-10 minutes, to our next destination, then that's just easy. But if it's a longer period, then we'll tow it.
How was it working with Captain Sandy? We love her, so she's fun to watch.
Yeah, Captain Sandy's great. She's not just a captain, but she's a teacher too. She knew that I was, new, and she was very nice to me about it. She would always teach me something, especially being captain. We always had we would sit down, just lunch, like us two, and just kind of just bullshit about, our captain stories and just learning from each other, and it was really great. And, she let us, I think all of us drive, Talisman for the most part. And it was it's definitely an eye-opening experience because those boats are not small.
She seemed understanding of Casey, too, having not as much white glove service. What was it?
Yeah, Yeah, that's
she seems understanding.
It's right. It's definitely, I get it. It's an entry level job. I see it as if, how many people apply to this job, and, if you lied on the resume, you took a spot from somebody, that's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, it is entry level. It was entry level for me.
Right.
So, what does that say about me? So I get it. And I'm glad that she stuck it out because she did a really good job this season.
Do you notice a difference working with a female versus a male captain at all, or?
I don't, because, I've worked, this is only coming from, my ferry experience. I've worked with both female and male captains. Yachting is a totally different ball game. So,
okay.
I don't know if I stepped on a yacht with a male captain, I have no idea. But I can't say anything negative about, Sandy. She was great and, taught me mostly everything I know now.
Cool.
What's like the craziest, have you had any really crazy incidents happen either as captain or like working on boats, or have you like been pretty lucky so far not having anything go wrong?
I've had, I've had some interesting stories. Fire Island, 4th of July weekend on a Saturday night at 3 a.m. I have stories.
You've seen some stuff. Yeah.
There's 3 ferry companies on the South Shore that go to Fire Island, and my ferry, the one that I work at, are the ones that go to the gay beaches. So, I have stories. We have, women stripping downstairs. the cat, I was a deckhand at the time. The captain, and the 2 deckhands, we were just rotating, going downstairs, and just making sure everyone was okay down there. It's just funny stories, just have a couple of booze, a couple too many drinks on a holiday weekend late at night. It gets interesting. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. You're like the Uber in the water. So you get a lot of crazy stuff, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Some
exactly.
crazy scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we understand that you're like kind of have a bit of a singing career, so we're interested to kind of hear what you're doing with it and how long have you been singing and all that kind of stuff.
I've been, I've been playing piano. Piano's basically my main thing. I've been playing since I was 5. I've played saxophone, through college and everything. That was also my major. I just had, music has always been my passion. And I majored in music education in college in a small school in Virginia. So I've been working at the ferry since I was 15. I was, I think, like a sophomore in high school. So I've always had that summer gig. And then, just after I graduated, obviously the music industry is not very easy to get into. So, I've always had the ferries to back up for a backup. And so I was a senior deckhand, which is basically a first mate, and then I got my captain's license when I was 19, and I've been playing music and driving boats and everything in between. So I definitely have an odd resume.
Yeah, that's a cool blend. So do you would you want to pursue, if given the chance, like a singing opportunity, like a singing career full time, or do you kind of like the split life?
No, I'd rather do music. Not necessarily playing. That's not really, I don't really have a goal in mind. I sing and write stuff mostly just for fun. My dream job in the world would probably just be a songwriter, just write songs for, musicians, for them to sing,
that's the people that make the real money too, is the songwriters.
Yeah, it's great because they're all millionaires. No one knows who they are.
Exactly.
They have a normal life,
you're anonymous.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's just fun, working with different people and just seeing what kind of ideas they have, and just anything in music, really. Radio, being a radio host.
I could see
that would be fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, but it's really hard to get into, and hopefully I'm still chipping away, so hopefully something works out.
Oh, cool. Who's your favorite like artist on the radio today? Like, who's a person you would, go to see in concert immediately?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Jamie Cullum. He's a British piano
I've seen him before. He's
songwriter.
great.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's
phenomenal.
kind of in the category
live.
with like Gavin DeGraw, Andy Grammer-ish. It's kind of like a jazz alternative pop, I love that kind of music. So, actually I saw Gavin DeGraw the other day on New Year's Eve. He was really good.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, but yeah, Jamie Cullum.
We wish you luck. We hope that in 5 years we hear a hit song and it's written by you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll buy it on iTunes for sure.
Okay, so the question, we'll buy it on iTunes. We'll support you. The question all the ladies want to know, are you dating anybody currently?
I am not. No. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a mix between just me being an only child and just me not caring. I don't know. It's just I like being by myself.
Being an only child and not caring. I love that.
I am an only child as well, and I'm married, but I love being by myself. Like my husband travels a lot, and
Isn't it amazing?
No, I love it. And people are always like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I just like being by myself. I don't know. Like when people are like, "Yeah," they're like, "Don't you care that he's gone?" I'm like, "No, I thoroughly enjoy myself."
Yeah, it's
best
great.
Friend.
Like, just hang out or, and another thing, I've had a couple of uncomfortable dates with people that, the first question they asked me was to get tickets for Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, that's not
I've had people, who else? They asked me to or they told their friends, like that was like the first thing they told them, so like their friends would reach out and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe," So like stuff like that. That's just a big turn off for me.
You want something real if you're gonna do
I had
it.
a girl on Tinder. It just fizzled away, and then like 6 months later, when the show came out, she like reached out. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're on the show. Let's hang out next week." I'm like, "Fuck
god.
you."
Swipe.
Yeah, you're like,
left.
"Thank you, but no, thank you." So,
yeah, exactly.
do a lot of chicks hit you up in the DMs, like on Instagram? Do you get a lot of like girls hollering at you?
I get like tour guides. I get if you're ever in Houston, and need to be shown around, let me know. Like stuff like
like
that.
Informal tour guides, not like formal. Just chicks trying to like.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like if you're in town,
tour guides.
I get mostly moms.
Oh wow, you would be a good. You would be a nice stepdad. I can understand that.
No, well, it's mostly
moms
for
saying
their daughters.
you'd be good for my
I
daughter.
can see that too.
Yeah. Their mom, I get a lot of moms that message me and they say, "Hey, my daughter, she just turned, like 24. Could you just hit her up and take her on a date? I would love to have you."
I love those mothers. You need to.
That.
I think you should go on some of those dates.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little scared.
Colin's like, no, thank you.
I could see you being the next Bachelor. I think you would make a good Bachelor.
I could totally see you on The Bachelor. You would be a good Bachelor.
That means a lot. That's very sweet.
Would you ever do that show? Would you ever do The Bachelor? They approach
I don't
you.
know. I don't know if I could pick 20 crazy chicks out of,
I know. It is
on
tough.
TV. I don't know. That's too much pressure for me. I think I would lose my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I think those are most of our questions. Anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like to share or talk about? Anything you have going on?
No, not really. I'm just gonna say, just keep watching the show. It's a really good show, and I hope you guys.
We have. We're not. Yeah.
Oh, we
Hopefully
definitely
you'll
will.
go back on. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we would love to see you back on.
Oh, well, thank you. You'll find out sooner or later.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
I like that.
Ooh.
Cliffhanger.
I like that. Well, thanks so much, Colin. We really appreciate it. And we'll be following you. So we'll see. Hopefully we see you on another season.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later soon.
Bye, Colin.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.